My name's Eamon Watson and I'm from National Milk Laboratories. We're here at Chance Hall Farm in Cheshire, courtesy of Tom and Karen Halton, to look at their approach to Johne's disease on their farm. We're also joined by Mark Hickson from Lambert, Leonard and May as one of the farm's veterinary surgeons, and Mark's going to tell us about the importance of Johne's control. So Tom, perhaps I can ask, can you give us a short background and a bit of history about the herd?
Welcome to Chance Hall Farm. We milk 520 cows all year round calving. We've been doing the Johne's control for probably 7 or 8 years now. We feel like Johne's is just a huge iceberg, and we were seeing the tip of it with cows that had typical clinical signs of losing weight, scouring, etc. We felt like we were going to really try and get on top of this because we felt it was going to be the next TB really. And we run a crossbred herd. They're a 3-way cross of Scandinavian Reds, Holsteins and Montbéliards. At the moment we're doing 9,500 litres. We've got a preg rate of 30 and a good margins for a litre. We do graze in the summer as well, but the high yielders stay in until they're in calf.
And Mark, as the vet on the farm, can you just give us a rundown on how the practice supports the farm in Johne's control?
So we've been lucky enough to serve the farm at Lambert, Leonard and May for the past 10 years. It's been great working with Karen and Tom. They've got similar mindset to ourselves. They're proactive, and the Johne's control was something that we have really got our teeth into and making progress.
Okay, that's our introduction. Let's go off to the calving area. So this video is going to look at the calving environment, and in particular the calving environment for those high-risk cows. Now you'll notice in this pen, this is for the high-risk, the red cows that have been identified in the herd, and they're kept separate from the remainder of the herd. Mark, if I can ask you just to sort of give a few words on what's a high-risk cow and why actually managing this environment is so important.
So red cows are classed as those cows that are potentially excreting or shedding the Johne's bacterium into the environment in their feces. And the reason why we're really worried about that in this environment is that any contamination of teats where the animal can be milked, that fecal matter can result in the milk or the colostrum that's ultimately ingested by the calf, and obviously then gains access to the guts of the calf. Is an easy way in which the bug can be transferred into the next generation.
And the importance of identifying the high-risk cow. Karen, we've got a suitable one here. How do we make sure that all your farm staff know what's a high-risk cow?
Okay, what we do is as soon as we find out from our Johne's testing, which is done through the milk testing, that there's a possibility that cow can be Johne's, we put a red tag in her ear. So if you look at our black cow there, she's got a nice little red tag in her ear, which tells everybody on the farm that could possibly be a Johne's carrier. We also have, like in different boxes in here, we've got a sign up saying red tag cows only, so that means that only those cows enter this box.
And we can also see, you can probably see in the pen behind us, there's signs up on the wall there that said this is red tag cows only. So this calving area is dedicated towards those high risk cows. Nonetheless, you'll see that it's well bedded, deep, clean, dry straw bedding. Tom, just take us through what happens in here when the calf is born.
Yeah, whether these are in calf to a black and white or not accidentally, because these cows might have been served with a black and white straw of semen before we knew that they were a positive or a possible or likely. So one of these might have a potentially heifer calf. What we would do is, like we do with all, we snatch calves. As soon as the cows lick the calf, we snatch the calves away so that the calf goes straight into the calf pens to try and risk the amount of contamination from Johne's at all. Part of our protocol at drying off is that we check that the cows have got a red tag in if they should have one, because like any tag, they can lose the tags and then that just blows a huge hole in the whole system.
So this is the red cow pen, this is the high risk cows, and this is one of the important control points in breaking that transmission cycle from cow to calf. This is management of the red cows. Let's go and have a look at the management of the green cows, the low risk cows, and how they calve. Okay, so here we are now. We've come across the yard and we've come now into the low risk calving environment. This is the clean cow calving environment. Important point to note is that as we came in the pen, we dipped our boots. Again, we're trying to minimize the risk of contamination from fecal material from the adult cows. So this is our calving environment. You'll notice here that it's on sawdust bedding. So you can see over our shoulder the cows in the loose housing. Up until the point of calving, they stay in there and then they're transferred into this calving environment. Tom, can you just tell us what happens with these cows when they come into here?
Yeah, so at any point we see cows starting to calve, we'll whip her out, and so she actually calves in this pen. So we're just, all the time we're trying to reduce the risk of any fetal contamination of any sort hitting that calf. So we'll get her in here, we'll carve her in here. There's rubber on the floor to help her grip. We put a few shavings down just to make it feel like, you know, a bedded environment to help her, you know, nest down and calve. Then we'll carve that cow here. We'll get it into the yoke there, ready to harvest the colostrum. We've got a vacuum pump on the wall there, so we'll put the calf in front of her in the yoke, which we feel really helps the colostrum let down. And then we'll harvest the colostrum off. Before you've perhaps seen on the wall, we've got teat dip in here and paper towel, so that cow gets treated like any other cow when she gets calved and milked. You know, to keep those teats clean, to try and stop any contamination coming across from the cow into the calf's colostrum. What we're trying to do is with this calving area, we've made it easier. It all drains to that corner. So when this cow's gone out of here, after she's had the colostrum harvested, we sweep it out, swill it down, and then disinfect it before the next cow calves in the area. Just trying to keep it as clean as possible.
And Karen, once you get the colostrum, can you just take us through what you do and how you keep it clean?
Yeah, sure. For me, it's really, really important to have clean colostrum to stop any contamination. I give the guys a bucket when the cow's been milked. I trust that they've kept me the colostrum spotlessly clean, and that colostrum goes into this clean bucket. As you'll see, we've got the cow's number onto the top of the bucket. This means then there can be no crossover, there can be no problems with other calves getting the wrong colostrum. That colostrum stays with that calf and with that dam. So that calf will have its own dam's colostrum, provided it's Johne's free colostrum and it's coming from these clear cows. It will have its own colostrum for the first 5 days of its life until it goes on to powdered milk.
So that's the hygiene and the attention to detail in the low risk cow environment. Important again just to go over those principles of cows coming in here. The environment is very clean, cleaning off the teats before harvesting the colostrum, and look at the detail that's there with the colostrum management. Those cows get milked out into that bucket, and that bucket is identified with that calf. It's a dedicated feeding system for that calf. And so now we're off to the calving pen. Let's go and see how the calves are fed.